FBI agents will now patrol Washington's streets as President Trump weighs calling in the National Guard. Trump brands the Capitol out of control, while city figures show crime near historic lows. Tomorrow, Trump's decision could turn into a policing move, into a political showdown over who runs America's capital. The FBI has begun deploying agents to Washington, D.C. streets in overnight shifts, part of an expanded federal law enforcement presence ordered by President Donald Trump, who is also weighing a National Guard call-up to address what he calls a surge in violent crime. The Washington Post, citing two people familiar with the matter, reports that up to 120 FBI agents, largely from the Bureau's Washington field office, have been assigned to work alongside DC police and other federal agencies for at least 1 week. The FBI, in a statement on August 10th, said,
"Agents from the FBI Washington field office continue to participate in the increased federal law enforcement presence in DC, which includes assisting our law enforcement partners."
According to the people familiar with those efforts, in recent days, the administration has authorized up to 120 agents, largely from the FBI's Washington field office, to work overnight shifts for at least 1 week alongside DC police and other federal law enforcement officers in the nation's capital. FBI agents generally do not have the authority to make traffic stops, and the people said the agents' roles could include supporting the other agencies during traffic stops. As per reports, some agents have been brought in from outside the city, including from Philadelphia, and are being tasked with supporting other agencies during traffic stops, despite limited training in such operations. A US official told the Washington Post that a decision on deploying the Guard could come as soon as August 11th, when President Trump plans to hold a news conference at the White House focused on crime in DC. A day earlier, on August 10th, Trump compared forthcoming action against DC crime to his administration's aggressive crackdown against illegal immigration at the southern border. Trump wrote on Truth Social, demanding homeless residents of Washington, D.C. leave the country's capital or face eviction, and again promised to use federal officers to jail criminals, even though violent crime in the city was at a 30-year low when he took office in January.
"We're having a news conference tomorrow in the White House. I'm going to make our capital safer and more beautiful than it ever was before. The homeless have to move out immediately. We will give you places to stay, but far from the capital. The criminals, you don't have to move out. We're going to put you in jail where you belong. It's all going to happen very fast, just like the border. We went from millions pouring in to 0 in the last few months. This will be easier. Be prepared. There will be no Mr. Nice Guy. We want our capital back. Thank you for your attention to this matter."
A White House official said in a statement that,
"We won't get ahead of the president on any potential announcements, but the president has been clear that all options are on the table when it comes to making DC safe again."
A spokesperson for DC Mayor Muriel Bowser's office said the White House had not briefed the Bowser administration on any plans to deploy the National Guard to the city. In a different Truth Social post on August 10th, Trump said the White House news conference on August 11th will be about the city's cleanliness, its physical renovation, and its general condition. The press conference on crime and beautification will be held tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST in the press briefing room, and it will not only involve ending the crime, murder, and death in our nation's capital, but will also be about cleanliness and the general physical renovation and condition of our once beautiful and well-maintained capital. We are not going to allow people to spend $3.1 billion on fixing up a building like the Federal Reserve, which could have been done in a far more elegant and time-sensitive manner for $50 to $100 million. The renovation would have actually been better, and we would have saved $3 billion, traffic jams, and never-ending construction. In his post, Trump also criticized Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, claiming she had multiple opportunities to address the issue, but that crime in the capital had increased significantly under her leadership. The mayor of DC, Muriel Bowser, is a good person who has tried, but she has been given many chances, and the crime numbers get worse and the city only gets dirtier and less attractive. The American public is not going to put up with it any longer. Just like I took care of the border, where you had 0 illegals coming across last month from millions the year before, I will take care of our cherished capital, and we will make it truly great again. Before the tents, squalor, filth and crime, it was the most beautiful capital in the world. It will soon be that again. The Free DC movement, which advocates for self-determination, immediately scheduled a protest on August 11th to coincide with Trump's news conference. Trump's repeated claims that it might be necessary to federalize law enforcement in the city to make it safe also ignores data collected by the Metropolitan Police Department, released in January by the federal government, which showed that violent crime in Washington, D.C. in 2024 was down 35% from 2023 and was at the lowest level in over 30 years. Meanwhile, Washington, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser told MSNBC on August 10th that the capital city's police statistics show that violent crime is down a further 26% so far this year.
We are not experiencing a crime spike. We have spent over the last 2 years driving down violent crime in this city, driving it down to a 30-year low. Federal law enforcement is always on the street in D.C., and we always work cooperatively with them.
Earlier this week, Trump ordered a surge of federal officers from a variety of agencies to increase patrols in Washington, D.C., pointing to the assault on a young federal worker who came to Washington to work with Elon Musk as evidence that the city's police force was failing to combat violent crime. Washington, D.C. police, however, had stopped the assault that Trump focused on and arrested 2 15-year-old suspects at the scene. Police data also shows violent crime is down 26% compared to this time in 2024, with homicides down 12% and juvenile arrests down nearly 20%. Despite the statistics, Trump has intensified his focus on DC, posting images of crime victims and calling for tougher penalties, including charging more juveniles as adults.